that YouTube scam guy that we were talking about in the Discord, where he like does those videos about like how he made billions of dollars like following the YouTube algorithm hacks or whatever.
Yeah.
All of the voiceover websites look like that.
That makes sense. Yeah. My guess would be that most, like, door thing, that, like, most tutorial websites nowadays are a total grift. But I haven't tried to learn a new skill in, like, 10 years, so I don't know. I'm not sure.
I'm all full up on skills. I don't need to learn anything. I've learned how to woodwork a little bit. That's pretty much
okay.
The extent of my skill learning.
I was gonna say, I feel like it's hard to like grift people in the realm of like woodworking, but I actually completely take that back, because I imagine that there's a huge crossover with like real man internet.
Sure.
It's like, if you need to learn how to build a table because, you know, Biden's America is causing the
Biden's America is gonna. You can't buy a table anymore in Biden's America.
You need to learn how to fend for yourself.
You got to cut down the tree yourself.
I feel like I went somewhere else. That's not like real man discourse. That's like rapture territory.
You have to like be able to build your own table to take part in the rapture.
I feel like you can still, like, you know, walking back a little bit from like the doomsday stuff, like I feel like you could make someone feel insecure enough about themselves that they decide to buy your table making course.
Yeah, no, I could see that. Luckily, it's funny, most of the like woodworking carpentry guys on YouTube are like, it's surprising that they're like, well, first, safety first, get your goggles on, get your ear protect. Like it's like, okay, this is not like toxic masculinity 101. They're like, you know, watch your fingies.
Yeah. Yeah, we like that. Those are good skills to learn.
We like some healthy fingers in this family. That's always good. Oh boy. So, World of Warcraft, huh?
You know? That's not what I'm here to talk about.
No,
let's talk about tables.
Let's talk about tables. Let's just talk about I should do a podcast on tables. You know who else does a podcast on tables? Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to Pixel. My name is Kevin. With me, as always, that's not Phil. That's Sam. That's Sam from the YouTube channel Afterthoughts. She's here.
Sorry, everybody.
Sam, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Fun to be here, hanging out.
Who are you? What do you do? What would you say you do here, or generally in the world?
I haven't done anything here yet. I'm excited to tell you all of the things that I know about World of Warcraft, because normally people don't ask for that. Normally I just give it to them and they're, you know, they tolerate it. But normally I make videos on the YouTube channel Afterthoughts. They run a range of topics, just kind of whatever thought hole I'm in for however many months straight. I'll just, you know, hone in on that and turn it into something that other people can watch. It's ruminating productively.
Sometimes she's talking about writing. Sometimes she's talking about UI. It's a real smorgasbord of YouTubery on there.
Sometimes World of Warcraft, but not enough. Not enough. Really not enough. In case you have missed previous episodes up through the end of the year, where is Phil? Phil is a parent now. He had a baby. So hooray to Phil. Hooray.
Hooray. He is doing the parenting thing for the next couple of months. So I'm going to have a group of friends kind of filling his shoes.
Yeah. Well, I have no babies, so I don't have any worldly responsibilities, and I can
Except for your puppy.
yeah, he'll make an appearance at some point. Yeah,
He'll wake up and he'll interrupt.
wait for that.
I'm sure of it.
I can't show you the first thing.
Yeah.
Burn it.
What are we talking about? We're talking about World of Warcraft. We're talking about Rise of the Horde, the Warcraft book, and so there's a lot of Warcraft books, and there's a lot of Warcraft stuff out there, and it's traditionally a huge blind spot for me personally.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I'm surprised you haven't gotten into that yet.
Yeah, I never really. I played the Warcraft Orcs and Humans maybe back when it came out.
Oh my god. That's the true legendary text. I don't know anyone who's played that game. That was when it was simple. It was just like, hey, orcs, there's some people over there.
Kill them.
Kill them.
That's the plot of the game. It's like amazing, like seeing where the lore went and ultimately became, and the plot of the game is like the orcs came from another dimension and started fucking killing humans.
Yeah, but they had motivations, and this is where it all fell apart. Was like Blizzard realized that they had something, and they were like, oh shit, we have to justify all of this. How do we do that?
How do we justify the genocides?
This book tries to do that a little
Little bit.
Does it actually, or does it just document them? I don't know if it even... We'll talk about that.
So yeah, if you've stumbled onto this podcast and have never heard of Warcraft ever, it was a real-time strategy series back in the 90s. And then Blizzard was like, fuck that. No more real-time strategy. It's going to be an MMO. And it's been an MMO for the past 20 or so, 20-ish years. It will be the 20th anniversary next year. Jesus Christ.
Crazy. Happy almost anniversary.
Almost anniversary.
That's something you say. That's cool. I'm going to have to get back into it to celebrate.
For the 20th anniversary of World of Warcraft. Mm-hmm. That is a long time for something to hold on. There have been so many MMOs that started and died in the era after World of Warcraft. See, I never played World of Warcraft. I played Star Wars Galaxies, which was not good.
Also probably quite lore heavy.
Yes, sort of. Yeah.
I think I've heard of some supplementary materials for the Star Wars MMO.
Yeah, it wasn't great. We don't really have to get into that, but yeah. So World of Warcraft. Before we get into the book, though, I want to just talk about the author real quick. The author is Christy Golden. She also did the narration for the audiobook.
That's right.
And she sure did. And she's had a pretty varied career in media tie-ins. She wrote for TSR, which was the previous owners of Dungeons and Dragons before Wizards of the Coast bought them. So she wrote for TSR. She authored the first Ravenloft book back in 1991, and she's written a bajillion books for Star Trek. She wrote Assassin's Creed. She's written a bunch of Star Wars books and like 1,000 World of Warcraft novelizations. So that's who we're working with right now.
I'd like to know which other Warcraft novels she's done.
There was a list. Let's look that up. Christy Golden. Her Wikipedia page cites Lord of the Clans, Rise of the Horde, Beyond the Dark Portal, Rise of the Lich King, The Shattering, Prelude to Cataclysm, Thrall, Twilight of the Aspects, Jaina Proudmoore, Tides of War. You gotta love it when there's a double colon in the title. There's one just called War Crimes.
Oh, what? Yeah, no, I wonder who that's about. It has to be about Garrosh, I feel like.
There's one Warcraft Duratan, the official movie prequel, Warcraft, the official movie novelization she wrote, World of Warcraft Before the Storm, World of Warcraft Exploring Azeroth, and World of Warcraft Sylvanas, which came out last year.
There was so the novelization of the World of Warcraft movie must really be something.
Yeah, it's a copy of a copy. It's several layers down. That photocopy is pretty. The ink is pretty bare on that one.
That's such an interesting choice. Also, War Crimes is in fact about Garrosh Hellscream, the character I most associate with the phrase war crimes in the Warcraft universe. Sylvanas might take the most war crimes committed crown soon. But yeah, if you thought the war crimes in this book were bad, wait until you find out what 20 years of World of Warcraft can dredge up.
Wild things. We're not even gonna get to the meat of the war crimes in this episode. But the war crimes. It's like we're gonna end, and the war crimes are just over the hill. Yeah. So, with all that being said, let's go ahead and put the body in the marsh with the prologue.
Tell me how they found him so fast. Somebody walking a fucking dog in 3 feet of mud.
Somewhere off.
The book goes.
What's that?
Narrate the book to me.
Yes, somewhere off in realms hitherto yet unknown, Sargeras is tempting the 3 leaders of the Blue People. Killed Jaden, Velen, and Arch. I just call them the Blue People, by the way, because they have like 15 fucking names over the course of this book, and I don't know what I should call them.
Do you want me to be annoying? No, I should also say, my reading experience with this book was very strange because I'm like way too familiar with the lore surrounding World of Warcraft. So like I was reading through this book being like, okay, yes, I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I know all these things. I know all of this. And I understand that was not your reading experience.
Right. I don't know all of this, but
they're called the Erudar for about 12 seconds. Yeah.
They're the Erudar, and then they are the other people.
They're still blue.
They're still blue. They're always blue.
They're always blue, except for the ones who are red.
Except for the ones who go evil and are red. But we'll talk about that evil bit. So there's the 3 leaders of those folks: Kill Jaden, Velen, and Archimond. And how could you not be evil with a name like Kill Jaden?
I know.
Yeah. Velen is super cautious about taking any sort of deal. Velen's friends laugh at him. He's a loser for being too cautious. And he goes to the temple to consider what might happen. And he has a vision of what Sargeras' power will do to them and corrupt them and twist them up on the outsides and the inside. So he presents this to Archimond and Kill Jaden. And Kill Jaden are like, you're making stuff up. And and then Velen's like, they've already taken the deal, haven't they? They're already bad guys.
It really does feel like, he comes back to his bros and says, hey, I had a vision and this is going to fuck us up real bad. It's going to be real bad news. We're going to join a horde of demons. It's going to be terrible for everyone, for the entire universe. And his friends just kind of come back and they're like, but what if it doesn't?
But what if it doesn't?
It doesn't. It might. But what if it wouldn't? They very much did anyway. Yeah.
It reminds me of now I'm blanking on the name. Owen Wilson in that one Wes Anderson movie where he's talking about we all know that Custer died at the Battle of Little Bighorn, but what my book presupposes is, what if he didn't?
Any texts not related to World of Warcraft, you are going to have to explain to me much more thoroughly because I'm only familiar with. Yeah. I think that was another really interesting thing about this book. I don't know how often you run into this in your podcast. I don't know who the audience for books like this would be. Like, I would imagine World of Warcraft players who probably know a lot of the things going on here. They might not be complete, like, lore fiends like me, so some of this stuff might be like, oh, so that's how this happened.
That's how that happened.
But for the book to just... It'd be like if you're reading a story from the Bible and they just mention Satan and you have no idea who Satan is. Just like, who is this guy? Just kind of dropping like Sargeras in there is kind of like, does the reader know who that guy is?
Yeah, I don't. Sargeras is, I guess he's a bad dude.
Yeah.
Sure.
It just feels weird for him to just kind of just make a little chapter 1, like, hello, I'm going to cause everything that happens, and then just dip.
I am the one who makes this book.
Yeah.
Hey. So Velen then looks at the Automal crystal, and it starts talking to him, or an entity called Naru starts talking to him, or the crystal causes the entity to start talking to him. Either way, he looks at the Naru is the entity, and its name is Kure. And Kure is like, bro, you got to get the fuck out of here. Mm-hmm. Like, shit's bad. It's going to get real bad. Get out of here. So Velen goes to the mountain like every good holy man does.
True.
with the Automal crystal, and he tries to bring all the folks he trusts. He's like he asks his friend Talgath to round up folks to escape, but shit, Talgath is already a traitor. He's already on the bad guy's side, and Kure, all the people are already like transformed into the evil version of the blue people, and they're coming for them. And then Kure, the crystal breaks into 7, Roy G. Biv style.
Yeah. That was one of those things where I'm like a little bit unclear on that. From my understanding, the crystal was just like, I have a spaceship. Good news. I have a spaceship. Get in my spaceship. But
that's what I imagine. Is just like a spaceship coming and beamed them away.
Yeah.
Oh. So
man, you'd think that diving deeper into the lore of how all this happened, you'd find out like where the spaceships come from, but it still just kind of ends up being good news. There are spaceships in World of Warcraft.
Good news, everybody. There's a spaceship.
Maybe
it's like almost like it's like, all right, we're gonna take some World of Warcraft mythology, and we're gonna, instead of borrow from a little bit from this religion, borrow a little bit from that religion, and you know what? Fuck it, Scientology. We're gonna grab some Scientology and throw it in there because we got some Thetans. We got It's actually, god damn it, this is like a little
weirdly similar.
It's weirdly similar to Scientology.
Yeah, there is Space Satan. Yeah.
Yeah, Space Satan. Yeah.
And the rebels fly away from Satan.
On a spaceship.
Yeah.
That...
Never noticed this before.
Kill Jaden vows to find them even if it takes 1,000 years. Mm-hmm. And that's the end of the prologue. Chapter 1, we open with a segment from present day as Thrall writes about how the Horde was created. And I guess this is like important if you have even the slightest understanding of who Thrall is, or when present day is, or current as of this book is. I don't know. Or is it before? Is it? I don't know.
That's a good point. That's a good point. That's a good point. I know who Thrall is and just forgot that, this guy just shows up and he's like, I'm going to occasionally interject into this story that I have absolutely no active part in.
I wasn't even born yet when this...
It's not even like he's the story's pen pal. Like, you could cut everything Thrall ever says in this story and it would not affect the book in any way. At all. Something will just happen, and then you'll get this little diary entry from Thrall that was like, yo, that was fucking crazy. And then the story
fucking crazy, right? Anyway, I'm going to keep Samwise Gamgeeing in this story. But I misspeak because Samwise was an active protagonist.
Yeah, Sam was there.
Active protagonists. Don't take them for granted, folks, because you're not getting them in this fucking book. So, we get some background on the Kosharg celebration from the point of view of Durotan, a young orc from the Frostwolf clan. There's a lot of description of the festival, how many beasts were slain, how delicious they were, how it filled their bellies. A lot of really description about it was good. It was a very good festival. Stuff like that.
I love a good festival. That's why I read fantasy books, is I want to read about all the happy festivals and the happy children and the tasty food.
The tasty food.
Yeah.
And the dancing.
Yeah, lots of dancing.
And Durotan. Yeah, Durotan's bored, so he leaves the children's table / tent at night, and he runs into another young orc named Orgrim from the Blackrock clan, who is also sneaking out to see what's up, what's going on out here. What are the adults what are they doing in there? What are the adults doing in there? And they sneak over to the adult tent, and they're just the adults are just talking about taxes and my back hurts.
Yeah.
Adult things. And then they continue bonding for the next few days with feats of strength, which just makes me imagine Durotan and Orgrim are Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage, just doing a feat of strength in the middle of the wrestling ring. I don't know if that makes any sense to you, but I can.
I don't know who those World of Warcraft characters are. Play that expansion.
Who's Hulk Hogan? What expansion was he from?
He's a Tauren chieftain.
Tauren chieftain Hulk Hogan. Leader of the Hulkamaniacs. And that's chapter 1. The only thing we establish is that Durotan and Orgrim decide to be friends. And that's never been done before.
No.
Orcs don't make friends. They have family and they have their tribe. But friendship, what are you doing?
Yeah. I didn't necessarily understand the point of playing that up so much, because then, later there are a lot of moments where all the orcs will come together and be like, oh yeah, everybody respected the hell out of this dude. And it's it seems I don't know, it wasn't maybe the most transgressive thing for these two dudes to be broing out, but the book really wanted to let us know that it's weird.
It's weird. These two guys are hanging out and having fun, broing out.
Little weirdos.
Little freak mode over there.
Yeah,
doing goblin mode. Chapter 2, more reminiscing from Thrall, talking about the Tauren and how Drekthar likes the Tauren as well as the Draenor and their good, clean magic. Good, clean magic. Feels like a dog whistle somehow. I don't know how. It just feels like it's... There's just some... I don't know how you can say that about one group of people over another have good, clean magic.
Yeah.
Durtam and Orgrim are in a foot race, and Orgrim wins, and they banter back and forth, but they're interrupted by an ogre. Oh no. So they're like running away from this ogre, and the ogre is trying to smush them up, as ogres do.
This is where I really dig the author, like interjecting a little bit of her idea of what orc culture is like, because the little orcs are maybe a little bit less concerned with the fact that they're going to die than with the fact that this will not be an honorable death in combat. Like, okay, sure they're being squished, but they are not participating in this at all. Like, all the other orcs are going to make fun of how they died, and that's like their kind of main concern here.
They died without a weapon in their hands, running from an orc that squished them. Not an honorable death. Orcs and Klingons, really
similar.
It's really similar. And then a bunch of blue people with armor and bows and arrows and stuff. They show up and they basically stealth kill the ogre with a billion arrows. They just shoot the shit out of this ogre, and they meet the leader of the hunting pack. His name is Restalon, who checks in on them, makes sure they're okay, sends off messages to their respective clans about their safety. Then they stranger danger off with him to a second location.
I love the little detail about the Draenei just like kidnapping these children and being like, no, it's totally chill. We phoned your parents. Like,
we told your
parents know you're here. Don't worry. This isn't weird.
This isn't weird. Your parents know you're here. They said it was okay. Now come with me, children.
There's like a little extra perspective from like, it's almost like, the author's trying to tell us like, no, guys, it really wasn't weird. It was really actually fine. Because then we like dip over to one of the orc shamans who was like, hello, I'm an orc shaman. I heard it was totally chill that our kids were over. Like, it's fine. Anyway, back to those guys.
It's cool. Don't worry about it.
Just to let us know that like the kids are accounted for. No kidnapping occurred.
Are all right. This is not a kidnapping. It's a totally cool babysitting, like a pop-up babysitting situation.
Yes, it is 3 a.m. and she knows exactly where her children are.
Yes,
everything's fine.
It just reminds me of when I got in the town I grew up in. I was I had like permission to walk from my house to my friend's house, which was like down the street and around the corner. And one time when I was leaving my friend's house, I got turned around and I just like kept walking down the wrong street and I had no idea where I was. And I ended up in a bar. I'm like 7 in a bar that is run by I believe it was the Order of the Hibernians.
This sounds made up.
The Ancient Order of the Hibernians are basically it's like an Irish Catholic organization. And I just like walked into their bar. And so I was like, hey, I don't know where I am. And they're like, do you know your phone number? And I said, I do. So they called my mom and she picked me up. And I was basically like Duratan in that situation.
It spoke to you. You gained knowledge that no one else in your family had access to.
Right.
Because that's the interesting thing about this book was like, that like the Draenei and the orcs are cohabitating on this planet. I also really loved that little tidbit where the Draenei were like, yeah, what up? So like we showed up here and we call ourselves the Draenei. And so we call this planet Draenor after us.
We named it.
And we were like, you don't have to do that. That's just what we call it. And the orcs are like, we don't actually have a name for it. So
we'll go with Draenor. It's fine.
Oh, Draenor. Like, they all just call it that. I think that is so funny. They just call it, like, planet. They're like, you know what? You have a name for it? All right. You thought of it. So.
You thought of it. You actually put some thought into the fact that we'll go with that. We'll go with Draenor.
We'll just name our whole planet after you guys.
After you guys. We don't know how far this planet goes. We haven't tried to Marco Polo around the world yet, so we'll go with Draenor.
It's okay. It does explode later. So
the planet?
Actually, wow. The timeline is so whack because I didn't mention this earlier. So Thrall is he's Durotan's son, right?
Okay.
So, timeline wise, you can probably already tell that this is a bit fucky because he's writing the story about how there was no war when his dad was an adult, and then war happens, and sometime in that time, the world blows up. Things happen very fast. On the scale of a single lifetime in World of Warcraft or in Warcraft.
And for the Draenei, it's not that much time. It's a month in Draenei time. A single NPC, a single character in World of Warcraft will just remember 4 different world wars because they all happened in the span of about 3 years. Overlapping world wars. It's we distinguish them just because they were about different things.
Yeah.
So they go with the Draenei and the Batcave entrance into the Draenei's city via illusory forest wall, basically. Be like, oh shit, there's an entire city here. We never knew that. Draenei are yeah, we're magic. Thrall writes about how Durotan didn't have the words to describe the city. Good. Thank you, Thrall. Good addition to the story. The city, though, is glorious.
It was something. I wish he told me what.
I wish he told me what. It was a thing. It's like that. It's like that song Tribute.
Oh yeah.
From Tenacious D. Couldn't remember the greatest song in the world. No. This city is a tribute. Orgrim right away is being weird about the floating metal. And she's like, that's impossible. Magic is a thing, but fucking floating metal, that's not a thing. And the Draenei are like, it's also magic. And he's like,
oh.
I don't know.
It's pretty weird. This is a scenario that I would love to see, explored way more. It's you've got these orcs over here, and then these hyper technologically advanced dudes just show up, set up shop, next door neighbors. They this is the first that they've interacted. Is something that they were saying. It's orcs had never been in a Draenei city before. They didn't talk, and they're super chill with each other. So we don't really get a sense for why not. A little rude of the Draenei, honestly. They just show up and
they just show up, name the planet. They show up, name that. They didn't go to the orcs and ask them what the planet's called. They just show up on their spaceship, and they're this is ours now.
And then hundreds of years later, decide that they're just going to go take 2 children and give them the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory experience out of nowhere.
I like the idea of Restylon just dressed up like Willy Wonka during the course of this scene.
You two did great. You can have our spaceship now.
You can have our spaceship.
This is yours.
Durotan sees a Draenei who he thinks is their age, and then Restylon's like, Draenei live for ever, so she's not your age.
Yeah. Stop looking at her.
Stop looking at her. There's a power imbalance here. You shouldn't talk to her. Restaurant shows them the views. It's very pretty. Then shows them to their rooms for the evening where they eat fruit and, again, fill their bellies, which is just a thing that orcs fucking do. Anytime.
They were a little skeptical of the vegetables, which,
fair, you know, veggies.
Not real food.
Yeah, it's green. Why would I eat a green thing?
Yeah, what?
And so on. Restylon then, and they change it to new fresh clothes. They're also super skeptical of bathing. They're like, we're not going to take a bath. But they change their clothes. And then Restylon tells them that the prophet is ready to see them. Which, at this point, you got to, like, tell your kids that if anyone tells them that a prophet is ready to see them, just tell your kid to what is it? Run, hide, fight.
Call me. I'll come pick you up.
Call me. I'll come pick you up. Please don't talk to any prophets, sweetie.
The bathing thing is so funny to me. Because, again, you know, it's like, that's like the fun of like a fantasy book like this. You really get like insights into like the different like fantasy cultures. I love how Orgrim, he's like, ew, bathe? Oh, ew, what? Ew. Weird.
Why would I do that?
Like, you don't bathe? And he's like, well, I mean, yeah, like we'll jump into a body of water and like scrub ourselves, but like, ew, no, we don't bathe. It's like,
we don't do that.
What are you talking? That's what bathing is. Stop it. Cut it out. You child.
Get out of here, weirdo.
Judgy little guy.
Just a judgy little dude. Velen asks them all sorts of questions about the orcs, like their defensive capabilities. No, it seems on the level. It seems like a nice dinner. Velen tells them all about how Draenei means exiled ones, and that they're from another world. Orgrim manages to find offense in something that was not intended to be offensive. Orgrim really has a hair trigger on that stuff. It's like, it was something like, he's like, I wouldn't be able to explain it to you because the words don't exist in your language. And Orgrim's like, you call me fucking stupid.
It was like, it made me wish that I had the communication and de-escalation skills of Velen, because he initially was kind of condescending. He's like, oh, I couldn't possibly explain to you how our magic works. Like, you wouldn't understand. And Orgrim is like, okay, try though. Like, we're not dumb. And then Velen is like, oh, I'm so sorry. No, that is not what I meant to say, but I see how you took it that way. No, I just mean that my Orcish is not good. So, like, oh, okay,
my Orcish is not good. Even though I've been perfectly fluent up until this point. And I've had 200 years to learn. So Velen goes to bed and says, we'll meet each other again someday. Meanwhile, Mother Casher is talking to the ghost of Tal Kra, and Tal Kra wants Casher to bring Durotan to meet the ancestors. So that'll happen.
Those are some words that you just said.
Those are some words. Those are things.
She's like the shaman of like Durotan's clan. Yeah. Like the shaman are like really important because they communicate with their ancestors. Yeah. It's like a big deal. And I've read a little bit, I think, further than you. I still do not know why she was supposed to
did this.
Durotan to meet the ancestors.
Yeah. Yeah. I have no idea. And we're not going to find out in chapter 4, which starts with another Thrall journal entry.
Yay!
Where he's talking about the old ways are coming back. Things are being reestablished, such as the celebration of Orgrimmar, which is when a child orc becomes an adult. It's bar mitzvah for orcs, basically.
Mm-hmm, yeah, like murder bar mitzvah.
Murder bar mitzvah.
Yeah.
Durotan is hunting a tallbuck, which is a deer thing, I assume.
Yeah, big, fancy
deer. And he wants to show he's the hot shit, so he's hunting a female tallbuck because the male tallbucks have already lost their antlers this season, but the female Tallbucks still have them. So he needs to have like a chance of death in order to really feel like he's important. They told him it's like a formality and he doesn't have to go all out. He just needs like the blood of something, of an animal, and just bring it back. And he's like, no, that would be dishonorable. And like, if your own people are telling you just to chill out a little bit.
I loved the description of the different ways you could cheat if you were so inclined. Like, oh, you could just kill something earlier. You could have someone else do it and then just like keep a little bit of the blood and splash it all over yourself and be like, wow, you guys would not believe.
You wouldn't believe. I got the Tallbuck exploded in my face.
Totally. Yeah, it was. I killed like 17 of them. I wish you guys had been there.
You guys ever see that scene in Scanners?
Oh boy.
So he kills the Tallbuck after pages of description of the hunt. Just a lot of talking about him chasing, hunting. He's chasing and hunting. And I wrote a note here saying description of a scene doesn't make a story. Because it's just like, we get like 3 pages of him chasing after this Tallbuck. We're like, I stopped caring halfway through. Just kill the fucking Tallbuck already. I mean, sure, this is the most active the protagonist is in the entire book, but...
Yeah, you have to give him a moment.
Give him the moment where he's setting out to do something. Yeah.
He needs his time to shine before he then does nothing.
Does nothing but lets things happen.
Oh boy, does he.
Anyway, he's an adult now.
Anyway, he's an adult now.
So mother... Yeah, he's an adult. He's a big boy now.
He's an adult. Do they talk to the Draenei ever again? Presumably no.
Presumably no.
Presumably no.
Yeah, he made BFFs with the Draenei. You'd think he would be like, hey, I'm going to go hang out with the Draenei again.
They had that really nice moment. They found out that they definitely speak a similar language and are totally chill with each other, have like respect for each other's cultures, and they just never talk to each other ever again.
Never talk to each other. And it's like, we're like, holy shit, we're not alone in this world. There's another sentient species right next door. Mm-hmm. It's like humans finding out that there are like super chill aliens like in Greenland or something.
It's like you're living out in the woods trying to, build a log cabin, keep food on the table, fend off wild wolves and bears, and then another guy moves like 20 feet to your left and you run into each other. You have a great conversation. You find out that they're a super chill dude. You get along really well, and then you're like, all right, anyway, back to fighting these wolves by myself.
We're like, good luck on your hunts for the rest of your life.
Right. Anyway, that was frustrating.
Anyway, so speaking of frustrating, Mother Kasher, the shaman, and Durotan are going to the mountain to talk to the orc ghosts. And they get to the cave, and they light some sage and stuff. They got to purify. They have their water things, and they fill up the pond a little bit. And Durotan can't see the ghosts, but Kasher can see the ghosts. And the ghost of Talkra is like, hey, this guy's going to be a hero of your people. Kasher's like, dope.
And that's it. That's what happens.
That's what happens.
Yeah. The best part is that they say might. He gets his hopes up. He's like, wait, what? That sounds cool. And she's like, okay, hold on now. They said maybe. So there's this whole chapter where they go up to listen to all these ghosts say that this guy might do something cool someday.
Someday, maybe. If he doesn't die in battle or something, or an orc or ogre kills him.
Man, there's nothing like a really unspecific prophecy to make us believe that your main character truly deserves to be the main character.
This guy may or may not do something of note later in his life. Thanks, Nostradamus.
Thank you. Anyway. Back to the story.
Yeah. So in chapter 5, Thrall says that hate can be both manipulated and created. And that's some deep stuff there, Thrall. I wonder if that's going to have any impact on the story coming up. Kill Jaden. We get back to Kill Jaden. He is angry. It's been centuries and he hasn't gotten his guy.
He's a guy.
He's a grumpy dude. And Archimonde is like, why don't you just give it up? Give up Velen. Like, we have so much shit we can do. Kill Jaden. Focus on literally anything. Yeah. There's
who cares?
So many worlds and planets. Do anything else. And Kill Jaden's like, no. And then Tolgoth is like, hey, I might have found them. Kill Jaden's like, all right, go there, watch them, observe and report, and do nothing without my express written consent. Meanwhile, yeah.
What a time they're having.
What a time.
They are like, the book also, I feel like, doesn't tell you, maybe it does at some point, that the goal of Sargeras is to destroy all of creation.
Right.
So it kind of makes me wonder what is in it for Kill Jaden. It's like, yeah, he does need to kill this one guy he used to be friends with. But, it's in grand service of ending all life in the universe. So
yeah. Circle back around to him,
Yeah, exactly.
You don't need to waste time on this.
It's all on the to-do list.
You got a big task there, buddy. You need to take little bites over the centuries, or else you're never going to get around to it.
No, you can't kill everyone if you're getting really hung up on just this one dude.
On just one dude. Your focus, you're not seeing the forest from the trees, or the Velen from the everyone else.
No.
Meanwhile, it's the Koshard Festival again.
Hooray!
Hooray! People are having fun and dancing and laughing and eating meats. And Durtan notices a girl that he has a crush on. And then he's like, I don't know who she is. And then he's like, oh shit, I know who she is. Her name is Draka, and she used to wear glasses, but now she doesn't, so she's hot.
She's hot now.
She's hot now.
I didn't recognize you, but now you're sexy.
Now you're so hot. You want to go out on a date? And she's like, I'm underage.
Yeah. Little moments where female characters don't make me sad are great, like in fantasy books, and so they give her this little moment where, Durotan asks her out, of course, on a hunt, to go on a date hunt, to go date, kill some things.
A murder date.
Meet cute, kill some deer. And she's like, I don't know if I'm indie like that. I'm just gonna tell you that I'm underage. I'm a little kid. Not as weird. And he's like, okay, I respect it. What if we just go regular kill some deer? not a date. Like, let's still go see a movie, but not a date. And it's like,
as friends.
I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it. He seemed like a man who can take no for an answer.
Yeah,
he just so happened that he didn't have to.
He didn't have to, right? So they have a really sexy hunt. It's it's like the scene from Ghost, but for killing deer.
Yeah,
and
as
then
much as she didn't want it to be a date, it totally was.
It totally was. And then Draka is like, BT dubs, my birthday is today.
Remember how I said I'm underage? Well, I'm legal today. Yeah, she does. She does say that. Yeah.
Oh, God. Meanwhile,
I still didn't hate it. My bar is really low for fantasy books.
It was fine. It was like I don't hate it. I just think it's like when you step back from it, it's really fucking funny.
It's yeah.
My birthday is today, and Duratan's like the eyebrows goes up.
Yeah, and they hit it immediately.
Immediately, bam, right there. Tallgath is watching, by the way.
He is.
He's watching everything.
You're right. He totally was. That's weird.
That's weird. He's like gives his report, and Kill Jaden laughs maniacally because he has a plan. Yeah. Chapter 6, Thrall talks about how unity is, in fact, a good thing.
Thrall, why are you here?
What are you doing, Thrall?
Why are you here?
Thanks for the feedback. Another year has passed. Duratan's pop's garage was smushed by an orc, and Duratan is the new clan leader.
Yeah.
Mother Casher also died.
Yeah. Real off-screen,
real off-screen death energy. Somehow Palpatine has
moments.
Somehow Palpatine has returned.
Yeah. If chapter 4 was they're adults now. Yeah, chapter 6 is just like you're president now.
Yeah, they're president now.
They're both president now.
Nurzul, who I don't think is a character we had necessarily seen that much before of, but he's super important apparently, is the head shaman, and he has a vision of his wife, Rolkan, who tells him that the world can be ruled by orcs if they come together and eliminate a common foe. Cliffhanger, we're not going to hear what that foe is yet.
Did I just fill in the gaps?
They don't tell you until the next chapter.
But you knew,
I know
right?
who it is,
okay.
Yeah.
It's like, it felt weird. It felt weird. It's just like, I don't know. We'll get more into this in the next episode. This whole conflict is so strange. It's so weird.
It's so weird. It's so dumb. Oh, so I can't wait to talk to you about the next part.
I wish that we could just do it right now.
Chomping at the bit. Meanwhile, Duratan gets a letter from Nerzul that has invited the leaders of all the clans to the Sacred Mountain. Draka's like, who the fuck is this guy? Who the fuck does this guy think he is?
Does he think he's the president? You're the president.
You're the president, Duratan. And I am the president's wife. And I say, fuck that guy. And Duratan is like, I forbid you from coming. And Draka's like, fuck you.
Yeah. And he's like, okay.
Okay.
You're right.
You're right. I was wrong, Draka. Thank you. Draka does actually, she does, like, it's like the story is like, she doesn't have any agency, but she's going to take the agency by the throat and be like, yes, I will do what I want. And that including go where my husband goes. If
Draka were the president of this entire book, everything would be fine. There would not have been orcs versus humans. The Draenei would be chilling. The orcs would be just hanging out, doing the hunt and dancing under the moonlight. If Draka was president, World of Warcraft wouldn't have happened. So I guess it's good that she wasn't, because I liked World of Warcraft.
You like World of Warcraft, but we can have an alternate history where Draka is like passes universal health care.
Literally, like, her whole stance in this book is like, what if we like chilled out a bit before committing genocide? What if?
What if we were a little bit cooler?
Yeah, and she's weird for that. She's the only person in the book who thinks that that's a good idea.
She's super weird. Yeah. But she loved West Side Story, and her favorite song is "Keep It Cool." So that's her.
Words to live by.
Words to live by.
I can't help but get ahead. I'm sorry for spoiling that Draka doesn't like genocide.
Go for it.
Getting ahead of ourselves.
Draka and Duratan meet Orgrim there, who tells them that the Blackrock clan didn't want to come. Funny, Draka didn't want to come either. Also, Orgrim carries the Doom Hammer now. Sad, because that means his daddy died.
Yeah. Yeah.
Orgrim would rather see the Doom Hammer destroyed if he could just have his dad back. Aw.
That's pretty cute.
It's pretty cute.
Speaking of really specific prophecies, when the Doomhammer is first brought up, when the Draenei are talking to him about it, oh my god, I died when they brought up the prophecy around the Doomhammer. Orgrim is like, yeah, it's not just a cool hammer. Also, apparently, it's supposed to like... there's supposed to be a moment where it saves the clan and then dooms the clan and then saves the clan again. And I was like, wow, your prophecy has 3 acts. Like
that's a 3-act structure to that prophecy. That hammer has a more specific prophecy than Duratan has of he might do something.
He maybe will do something. Exactly, yeah. The hammer is the real MVP.
Yeah, hammer is the real. Yeah. Yeah. And then at that same at that dinner, either Velen or Restylon is like, oh, but you won't get the hammer until your dad dies. And Orgrim's like,
I hadn't thought of that.
I hadn't thought of that, and I'm just a kid, and I'm gonna cry now.
Oh. Yeah, that was kind of fucked up. Why'd you bring that up?
Up. Why'd you mention that? Just let him talk about the prophecy. So, yeah, Ner'zhul reveals to the gathered leaders of the Orcs that the enemy they must destroy is the Draenei.
Yeah.
And Duratan presses X to doubt on this one. And Drekthar, who is the new dude, the new shaman for the Frost Wolves after Mother Kasher died, says, oh, yeah, Mother Kasher totally confirmed this, that the Draenei are very bad in a vision. And then Drekthar then manages to gaslight Duratan into believing that the night he stayed with the Orcs was actually a bad thing, and that they were very rude and insulting and, cunning with the bad plans. So that is... That's where we are.
That's where we are, and that's where we will stay, with Duratan walking around going, these guys seemed really cool. I wonder if we should kill them while, literally stabbing people. I wonder if this is okay. Is this okay?
What if this is okay? Is this okay? Does anyone else find this weird?
He's a really cool guy. I like him.
Duratan.
Yeah.
Most wishy-washy main character of all time, Duratan.
This is all in the Draenei for not running better PR.
The Draenei needed to if they had just tried a little bit in the 200 years that they were there, instead of just being like creepers and watching the Orcs, because that's what they're doing. They're just
said hello from time to time. Also, completely joking, obviously, the Draenei literally did nothing wrong. Thus far, this is a book about some chill people who save some children from being killed, send them back, keep hanging out, and then get murdered.
They get murdered for just the dumbest of reasons.
Yep.
Most of all, it's just oh God, when we get into it, it's going to be so fucking dumb. I want to. We'll get there. We'll get there. All right, so we're gonna close it out there. And Sam, so I gotta ask you, as we do at the end of every episode, what are you playing?
Yeah. It's part of the reason that books like this are so exciting to me. I play a lot of Heroes of the Storm. It's kind of mostly what I play. If I take a game break, it's to play Heroes of the Storm. It's basically League of Legends, but it's the Blizzard version of League of Legends. And so all of these little characters we've been talking about, they, some of them show up in Heroes of the Storm. And it's fun to know the lore of, where these guys came from. It's fun to see like the little kind of retcons that Blizzard has had to throw in to keep this franchise going over the past 30 years. Genuinely like pretty impressive. And
Like, no, that didn't happen. Like, we're changing that around so that it's like, actually, there's a time thing. And
yeah, I don't know if you've ever, did you play Warcraft 3?
no, I didn't get, I played a little bit, but I didn't like play it for story. I played it to, I just played it a little bit.
Well, so it's interesting because, you know, like there is like a consistent kind of through line for all these characters. And it's messy, but one of the acolyte voice lines for like the undead, like you can, the undead are like one of the people that you can play as. One of the acolytes, if you move him around, he'll say like, "My life for Ner'zhul," and like that's the Ner'zhul.
Right.
So I feel like that's why people really enjoy these books, is like just getting that little hit of like, oh hey, that guy, I know that guy.
Hey, Ner'zhul. Yeah, there he is.
Dude.
He's here. He's here and around. But Heroes of the Storm also has like Lizard, like literally all the other Blizzard characters too. Like it's like the conceit is they're all pulled into this battle arena universe or whatever.
The best way to describe it probably would be if you took Super Smash Bros.
Sure.
Put it in the format of League of Legends, and then just made it Blizzard characters. It's a wacky concept, but I love it. It's also what the most recent video on my channel is about. So if you want to see Heroes of the Storm in action and hear me talk about how much I love it,
yeah, go check out that video on Sam's channel about Heroes of the Storm and her struggles with her own toxicity as a gamer.
It's not good.
She was a toxic gamer at one point.
I was a bad person playing video games.
Oh, God. So I've been playing Starfield, and it's one of those. Yeah, it's the new big Bethesda sandbox RPG that's out. I was like, after the first 2 hours, I think I posted a message on Discord, but like, I fucking hate it.
No.
Because, well, my problem with Starfield is that like it has a really bad opening, and then it's like it's really bad, like really slow. It doesn't onboard you into any of the interesting things that the game does.
People have been saying that about Bethesda games forever, right?
Forever. It doesn't get to the meat of what's cool about the game. So and what's funny is like we're doing this segment, and this episode isn't out for a while, so I'm gonna be talking about other games. I'll probably have like talked about beating Starfield in another episode, but I don't care because time is bullshit. But that's basically what I've been playing. So yeah. Well, you already plugged your video. What's that?
I was just gonna say how excited I am about all of the Starfield glitch videos. Definitely keep those coming.
I can't wait.
I love watching some good glitches.
Love a good Bethesda glitch. It's always nice. Always nice to see.
Keeps me going.
Thank you guys so much for listening. You can check out Sam's work on the YouTube channel Afterthoughts. She does amazing work there. I want to give a special shout out to the patrons at the Geek Scholar level: Friendly Friend, Jesus Loves You, and Ruthless Mutter. Thank you so much for being our $10 patrons. Your support means the world to us. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Blue Sky at Pixel It Pod. Just put the name in there, and you should be able to find us. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, rate us 5 stars, all that fun stuff. Thank you so much for listening, and have a good evening.